Welcome to the next video in our series on how to choose the best one-bag travel backpack for you. In this video, we'll dive into a travel backpack's functionality. So we'll be taking a look at the comfort. Can you wear the thing for a 2-minute walk? How about a 2-mile walk? Organization. Are there a bunch of travel-specific pockets, or is it one giant bucket that you throw your things into? Does the backpack open up, allowing you to organize it, or is it a little bit harder to get to? And security. Are there any types of features that help keep your backpack a little bit more safe and prevent theft? We're gonna check all this stuff out coming up. So starting with comfort, is the bag comfortable to wear for hours? This is super important to consider for one-bag travel because some of the magic that comes with it is the flexibility to kind of go do whatever you want at any point in time. You know, at any point in time, you can just grab your bag, you're on to the next thing, and you don't have to lug around a bunch of luggage with you. But when it comes to that comfort, it's really gonna depend on you. So somebody that's 6'5" and 330 pounds is probably gonna find comfort differently than somebody that is 5'3" and 120 pounds. So we'll go over a couple different things to look out for and to take a look at, even if you're unable to try a bag on before purchasing it online. Starting with backpack straps, you'll wanna look for high quality here. It doesn't matter how comfortable the rest of your backpack is, but if the straps are bad, it's not really gonna work out for anybody. And thickness of the straps doesn't necessarily matter here. It matters how high quality it is. There are some thinner foams out there that are super high density and make for a very comfortable carry. There are also strap shapes. So a company like GoRuck, for instance, makes curved straps. So folks with bigger chests can go with a more curved strap system, and that'll be more comfortable for them. If you are concerned a lot with weight and distribution, look for straps with load lifters. Basically, this is a cinch on the top of your pack straps. They're gonna allow you to adjust the weight on your back based on how your pack is filled, based on how it's sitting on your back overall. So you can kind of pull those straps up if you want the weight closer to the top of your back, or you can leave them a little bit more loose if your carry calls for that. Some straps swivel and pivot, allowing for a more custom fit based on the width of the shoulders and your body type, and also enables you to quickly swing your pack around and get access to your pack with that swiveled strap. We typically look for packs that are right around 40 liters. If you get up into that 50 and 60 liter range, it's going to be a little bit harder to never check a bag. On most airlines, you know, you can go with a 40 liter pack and still go carry on, and most airlines are fine with that. And if you do go any lower, say 30 or under, it's gonna be hard to pack everything that you want to unless you are a super minimalist. Now, where does that leave us with hip belts? We're sort of middle of the road. If you're carrying a lot of camera gear, maybe a laptop or two with you, you might want a hip belt. But if you do have a 40 liter pack and you've packed a little more minimally, and you're a bigger, stronger person, you may not need one. So it's kind of up to your preference there. The Mission Workshop Fitzroy is a really great example of a pack that does have thinner straps that are actually super comfortable because it is of a very high density. And they do also offer a detachable hip belt that you can use if you'd like, but if you're not using it, it's easy enough to stuff away into your bag when you don't want to have those extra straps flapping around. So if your bag does have all the features mentioned above, how is the best way to put this thing on and what order should you do it in? Number one, you're gonna wanna put on your backpack straps, and followed by that, clip your hip belt. After that, you wanna tighten your straps at the bottom and then tighten the load lifters at the top. And when you do tighten the load lifters, you're gonna really notice a difference because that's gonna feel like a lot of weight is lifted off of your back. Finally, when all that's taken care of, you then want to take a look at the sternum strap and tighten that across your body. So how about organization? Does the pack offer many different travel-focused compartments, or is it one giant bucket? Most top loaders tend to be one giant bucket, and we'd highly recommend using packing cubes inside of them. We're big fans of the Eagle Creek Spectre cubes because they are thin and lightweight, but do allow you to categorize and keep your items together. If you do end up emptying out that entire top loader, you're pulling out, 3 to 5 packing cubes, instead of your individual wardrobe and everything inside. So it's a little bit easier if you can kind of compartmentalize like things with one another. It's still great to have that in a clamshell as well, but keep in mind that a clamshell backpack may offer more organizational pockets in it because it's a little bit easier to open up fully and get access to everything that is inside. Compression sacks are another good option to kind of compress all of your clothing down as tight as possible. But we found packing cubes to be better for travel because your clothing usually gets less wrinkly. So compression sacks for camping are great because you're able to really compress your gear down to nothing. It doesn't really matter as much how you look when camping. Who cares if you have somewhat of a wrinkled jacket, right? When you're traveling, when you're focused more on one bag urban travel, packing cubes tend to do a really great job because you can kind of organize your clothing in there, roll it up so it doesn't wrinkle quite as much, but still have some compression, but not super hardcore compression to where it's wrinkling and smashing all of your clothing together. Some packs do a really good job at offering separate compartments. For instance, the Mammut Sion Cargo has a lot of nice travel-focused pockets, and they do have a compartment at the bottom specifically for shoes, and it's also ventilated. So they're really thinking through, how is somebody going to be using this bag? And although it's a climber bag, it's also really great for the travel context as well. Compression and expandability is another important consideration when it comes to selecting the best travel backpack for you. And if you are going with one bag, it is better if that bag is versatile and can kind of cater to different items inside of it. So compression straps work really well for that because when your bag is full, you just leave it full and all your stuff is in there in the back. But when you want to slim down a little bit, maybe you want to unpack, leave stuff at your hotel room and go explore for the day, compression straps offer a great way to give that bag a little bit more of a lower profile on your back and hold everything inside of there in a more secure manner. If you are looking for a day pack just to carry things around in, you could take a look at something from Sea to Summit. They do offer some super compressible day packs, as well as a couple items from Matador. But those aren't really padded day packs. So if you are trying to bring any camera gear or a laptop around with you, it's gonna be a little bit harder to do. You could get something like a padded field pocket from GoRuck to kind of keep that stuff secure, your more fragile stuff secure, and then put that into a thinner day pack. But ultimately, it's a bit of a weird kludgy system to try to work out. If you do want a more padded day pack to bring in addition to your pack, look for one that's a little bit more compressible. So something like the Timbuk2 Rapid Pack or a Fjallraven Konkin are interesting choices. And you can kind of lay those flat and compress them in your bag. When you need to use them for a day pack, take them out and then just kind of put all your stuff in there that you need for the day and you're good to go. But it's important to note that this is a big weight and kind of a size penalty. So if at any time you're able to find a pack that can work both as a day pack after you unpack some stuff and as your main backpack to fit all your things into, that's just gonna be a lot better for you in general and you're not messing around with multiple bags. So take something like the Air Travel Pack, for instance. It does have some very nice compression straps on the side, and you can almost get away with it as a day pack if you compress it and pull it all the way down. Granted, it's not perfect, but it is better than something without those compression straps that leave a very much larger profile. And a quick pro tip while we're talking about pack profile, if you do find something that's thinner and sits closer to your back, it's gonna feel a lot lighter than something that protrudes and sticks out longer because that weight is gonna be closer to your body. It's gonna be closer to your center of gravity. So it makes it a little bit easier, makes it feel a little bit lighter as you are traveling around. When it comes to backpack security, the most important thing is your personal self-awareness and what's going on around you. So if you're on a train, don't set your bag down where you can't see it. If you're on a bus, don't fall asleep and take a nap with your bag next to you. It's gonna be a lot easier for somebody to take a look and steal some things inside of your bag, regardless of the features that your pack offers for those additional security measures. However, some bag manufacturers take this very seriously, and they do add some things that can help prevent the theft of your gear. Some packs offer lockable zippers, which makes it a little bit harder for a thief to quickly unzip your bag and grab everything inside. Now, these lockable zippers are easy enough to undo, but if a thief does quickly try to get in there, they may just move to the next backpack that's a little bit easier to get into. And it's important to note that with any TSA approved locks, those can be taken off pretty easily. And if you do have lockable zippers, it's still easy enough for a thief to puncture the zipper and get in there. PackSafe creates some interesting technology. They have their Tough Zip, which is basically an anti-puncture zipper and a pretty heavy duty lock on their bag. They also do have a material called ExoMesh, which adds quite a bit of weight to a pack, but it makes it slash proof. And slashing is another thing to take into consideration here. No matter how strong the zipper is, it's always going to be down to the material of the bag itself. So if a thief does have a knife or like a chainsaw, they are going to be able to get inside of your bag. So all this stuff is kind of measures to help protect your stuff. Nothing is really bomb-proof and impenetrable. And again, I think it really boils down to your self-awareness. If you feel unsafe, if you're feeling weird in a certain area, maybe go somewhere else. Maybe remove yourself from a situation. If you're staying in an airport overnight, maybe don't fall asleep for the entire night, or try to keep your bag positioned in a way to where it's going to be harder for somebody to get into it as you're sleeping. So again, rely on your intuition and rely on yourself to make it safer. These backpack features just kind of make it a little bit harder for somebody to break in. Another thing is RFID blockers. Some bags go kind of crazy and they put this RFID blocking technology around their whole entire backpack. If you are feeling paranoid about that, you can just get individual RFID blocking containers for, say, your passport, or maybe the individual cards within your wallet, or maybe even your wallet. But RFID blocking technology around an entire backpack may be a little bit more expensive at times and could be overkill. Again, it's going to be a lot easier for somebody to come and physically take away your credit card or your passport than it is probably going to be for them to mess with all the technology, try to get you in the right position, hope that they're going to be able to pick up whatever it is in your pocket with some kind of electronic device. And again, that boils down to your self-awareness and what's going on around you. Again, if it's a 100% secure backpack that you seek, we're definitely not going to stop you, and you can certainly go for that. But we also urge you to be aware of your surroundings and kind of take in the scene and understand what's going on around you. Thanks for taking a look at this video in the How to Choose the Best Travel Backpack for You series. Be sure to stay tuned for the next one.